A few years ago, when we first started hearing about the Hyundai Inster, the prospect of a sub $40,000 EV from Korea's biggest car company sounded like a surefire hit. Well, today EV sales are hardly on fire, and the Chinese have moved the starting price point below $30,000. All that doesn't make the Inster a bad car, it just makes its path to success that much harder. The good news is it's got some attractive qualities that are going to help it be a success. And here's a few of them.
Okay, pricing is the Inster's trait that's going to attract attention for the wrong reason. There's just not a lot of real estate here for the money. There are three Inster models, the standard range with the smallest battery and the smallest $39,000 price. Then comes the $42,500 extended range and the flagship $45,000 Inster Cross that looks like an off-roader, but like the other two Insters, just isn't.
Yeah, I think I've already mentioned it, but the Inster is tiny. But the good news is it does a lot with its size. Yeah, there's some funky exterior design bits and bobs. I want to talk about something a bit more prosaic. Millimetres. The Inster only measures up at about 3,800 millimetres long, but its wheelbase is very long for its size at 2,500 millimetres, and that really helps it inside. So let's jump in. In the rear seat, that is, this thing is crazy spacious. Just check out all the knee and headroom. Now, of course, it's also very narrow, so it's only got room for two passengers back here.
There's not much in the way of creature comforts back here, but more importantly, there are no rear airbags fitted either. For us, that is a really disappointing omission.
All right, heading to the front seat, let's just check it out here before we hit the road. And there are a few more creature comforts up here than in the back. You've got your USB ports, your single zone climate control, your dual digital screens, and a grippy little steering wheel. Bodes well for getting going, so let's do it. Okay, so on the surface, you look at the spec of the Inster and it's, pretty underwhelming. A tiny little e-motor, a tiny little battery. It doesn't bode well really for the way the vehicle's gonna perform, but you know what? This powertrain is pretty impressive. In this vehicle's natural environment, which is urban, slower traffic, stop-start, not burning too much energy, it is actually pretty economical. We were seeing sub 10 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometre average figures coming back during our test drive. All right, you wind the pace up a bit and your consumption's going to go up into the teens, obviously, and you might think then you're out on the open road and the Inster's going to feel pretty uncomfortable. But actually, that's not really the case. This base model on the 15-inch rubber actually rides over the corrugations and roughness pretty well. And also, surprise, surprise, you give the little engine a bit of throttle and it does kick up and get going. Yep, there's definitely enough pace here to keep up with traffic on the highway. So undoubtedly some real positives there about the Inster, but as we've mentioned, not the price. Look, there are cheaper electric hatchbacks out there like the BYD Dolphin and larger compact electric SUVs for the same price like the new MG S5. So really, the Inster becomes a battle between heart and head. To buy it, you've really got to let the heart rule. And if you do so, you're probably going to end up loving it.